I also agree with the Made in Italy campaign because I would buy Made in Italy over Made in China or Made in Turkey even.
And it's a great place to go do business because Italy.
I was going to say, it sounds like a hard trip every year.
Yeah.
How do you peel yourself away from the family?
I don't know. It's very hard, but like I say, you gotta do what you gotta do. Business is business.
Business is business. Welcome to Muttering Pines, the show where us city folk try to cowpoke. We drink beer, talk about ATVs, life outside the city, homesteading, entrepreneurship, and ultimately trying to do stuff with our hands. Hey guys.
Oh, hi Darren. How are you tonight?
Hi.
Why don't you tell the goddamn truth, Darren, about how you're actually doing tonight?
Yes. Tell us the truth. On camera this time.
Well, yeah. I was just bitching about the fact that my kids are basically cyclones on wheels, and there's never a free second in my house. But I can't really complain because Matt has like a fucking mental illness.
It is a mental illness.
Brain disease or something. So.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking about that just before you finished murdering your family and joining the show. About his mental health issues. It's not really a mental health issue.
It is. It does affect them. Like, it's not the typical mental health that I should go get treated for. This is the mental health where you just suffer in pain and just do it quietly and nobody knows about it except the people I tell. Wait,
Matt,
are those the same things?
Matt, that's just called being a man.
Yeah.
Every man, because we're stubborn and dumb, has something wrong with us that we don't tell people and just quietly hope it's going to fucking go away on its own.
That's
and then one day it's either going to go away and we're going to be like, I knew it.
That is exactly how I ended up not seeing a dentist for 24 years.
Wow.
24 years.
And you have no teeth.
For 15 years, I had a hole back here that I just pulled out with floss one day. Because I floss. Because when you don't see a dentist for more than 2 decades, you fucking floss. And I just pulled out a whole bit of my face. And I just flew to San Francisco, and I never thought about it again for 10 whole years. Until I went to the dentist. I was like, I had a hole in here, and I haven't been in here at 14 before that even. And then they were like, Jesus, man. So yeah, we're stubborn and dumb. You are right.
Yeah. So I went to the doctor, which is the first for me because I don't like doctors. And they told me to twist my head in a certain way and then go home. And
twist it until you hear it go crack.
And so my opinion of doctors stands, and we're going to just go on.
I'm glad that they finally have made with needles instead of just the neck breaking that apparently they usually are recommending to people.
Where you do the homestead slip knot over a big oak tree and just take a long step.
Oh, the homestead slip knot.
The long step good night.
The long step good night. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have no idea how to segue this into the guest that we have tonight.
No,
it starts with a whole bunch of suicide and hey.
Luckily, he's not here yet.
Well, because I mean, he makes stuff that makes people happy, and so I don't know why I guess did you bring him on the show because we're all miserable?
Yeah,
is that why you got him on here, Darren?
Yeah,
I went cruising through his products, and I think I'm actually going to start subscribing because I like the idea of what he does.
He's got some pretty cool stuff, eh?
And it would probably bring me a slight bit of joy.
My wife bought me a subscription from him years ago as a Christmas gift, and it's still to this day one of my most favorite gifts of all time. So I was super excited to see him coming on the show. We had no idea he was from Calgary, like none.
Oh, really?
At all. After like January found his service online, just the way that you do. Like, what do I buy for men that have crap already and I don't know anything about whatever they like? And Friday Socks, who's going to be on our show tonight, I guess I'm telling everybody, was what popped up.
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag on that one.
Yeah, the big banner at the beginning of the show.
For a year, I got socks, and it was awesome. They would arrive at work. It was like a whole event. You know, like people will be like, "Oh, what socks did you get this time?" I'm like, "Oh, look at my socks." Yeah, it was really cool. I love it.
So you had undergarments delivered to work, and then you shared them with your coworkers.
Yeah, I liked it so much. So January bought me socks, and then because if we're going to talk about like male stereotypes, I also hadn't replaced underwear in decades, and so I was just walking around with like, thin sheets of remaining cotton hanging from elastic. Like it was not good. And so she bought me an underwear subscription, and those would also arrive at the office.
Just tattered like a loincloth?
yeah, that's right. I would order only pre-worn underwear.
That's for the longest time, like that's where my underwear got to the point where like it just wore off on the inside of the thighs and then just became a loincloth.
Yeah,
right.
Extra breezy.
Yeah.
It's when
anyway.
Oh, okay.
Speaking, before this gets too crazy.
Holy fuck, this guy's not going to know what hit him tonight.
No.
Like, one of us has a serious health issue. One of us is just recently murdered his family.
No, I have a health issue too. I just didn't bring it up because I'm a real man.
That hurts. Go back to killing your family.
That stings, eh? But yeah, our guest tonight has made Friday Sock Company, and he's recently expanded it into a bit of a wholesale. Has recently expanded it into a wholesale little empire. Our guest tonight is Adam Thompson, and he's actually waiting for us right now.
Let's get him in here.
I'm going to click the button.
Hello.
Adam,
Hello.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hi, Adam.
Doing good. You just missed it. We were just all bitching, so now we're happy.
Yeah.
You missed out.
It was basically like The View, but with guys.
Oh,
Yeah. Which
Well,
you might
we
have
got
to
it
edit
really
all
out of
that
our
out
system
because we're not supposed to bitch.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Not on record.
No.
It's okay. Nobody listens anyway. I don't know if you've figured that out yet.
Yeah,
He
it's
certainly has.
What's that thing like? Something about complaining. Nobody. I don't know what it was. It's you've probably heard it, but
No point in complaining. Nobody cares anyway.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Adam, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's
Excited.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
How did you manage to get just a pure white?
I'm in our basement. Kids are the littlest one is currently not going to bed, and there's just chaos upstairs. So
You know what, Adam?
So-
you showed up on the perfect night. Okay, it turns out we can talk to you about our very off-color introduction that we were recording just before you came on.
I was having the
Darren,
exact same problem.
It has the exact same problem and has murdered his family. It turns out that murdering your family is the solution. So
okay, well,
I haven't actually done that.
yeah, that's good.
Yet.
Yeah.
there's a reason there's a tomahawk on the wall.
Last resort.
Yeah.
Did you by chance do any due diligence?
Yeah, a little bit.
on this?
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes. Enjoyed them all, but watched Turkey and Pistols. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you know
Sutter.
Rob?
No, I don't. I've never met him, but he's great guy. So maybe I will.
Yeah, he's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we like to start off talking about if we're imbibing. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, so I am, but I'm
What we're
not.
drinking.
I'm trying to. You know what happens is I was in good shape in the summer, and then the fall, winter, and Christmas time, and then I'm like, okay, New Year's resolution, January, and then obviously it takes a month to really get going. So I am on a dry kind of February, but I am drinking. It's craft. It's by our friends at Village. It's a pale ale. It's a non-alcoholic, but it tastes pretty good. And I'm a fan. And
Awesome.
then I mix in those with Partake. I don't know if you've ever met Ted, but Ted at Partake. He's a friend of mine.
Partake's
So
good
I
stuff.
drink some Partake once in a while as well. But I'm going to be a little bit jealous because I wish I was on the booze right now. But I'm trying to stick to my guns.
I appreciate that. Scott was actually drinking craft on one of our episodes, but thought it was alcoholic beer.
I did.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought it was full test beer. Was highly disappointed later. Yeah.
You still got drunk in the placebo, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Scott, what do you got?
Okay, tonight I'm drinking Okami Kasu
Ooh.
from Old Beautiful,
Yeah.
which is it's like Budweiser, but really delicious.
Yeah, Old Beautiful's got good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt?
I'm going back to Old Faithful. Paps.
Oh,
Be the
nice.
first time in a long time.
Nice one.
Are you ready for what cheap swill is Darren drinking tonight?
Yes, is it co-op? Please be
Bottom of the
co-op.
barrel?
Nope. I went not cheap. I'm drinking
Ooh.
Guinness.
Wow.
Oh, full test.
In your face.
How many of those-
Just in case I've got a PC Pilsner, but
How many Guinnesses will you have, Darren, before you're like, okay, that's enough Guinness? Because there's a limit, right? You can't have too much Guinness.
so in my experience, that usually comes the next day because I could go through.
Oh, really?
Most of them.
I once had to go to London for a work thing, and there's a bar there called the Toucan,
Yeah.
and it's this tiny little hole in the wall, but it's like super famous because apparently it's like the best Guinness in London or in the UK even, aside from the Guinness factory, obviously. But anyway, they pride themselves on Guinness, and I had all the coworkers had like kind of bailed on me. I had nothing to do. Got off the plane, and I was in there for 8 hours, drinking more than a pint an hour. So there is no limit as to the amount of Guinness I can drink. To answer your question,
So you emptied your wallet and stumbled out.
it wasn't a cheap night. Not at 10 pounds a drink.
Is
A
that
whole
what a
bunch of
Guinness
years
cost
ago,
there?
Darren.
It was with tip and everything. It was pretty close to 10 quid. Yeah,
Goodness.
it was.
A whole bunch of years ago, Darren, do you remember that you and I bought the domain GuinnessLime.com when every beer company ever was throwing lime into every beer ever?
Yes.
We were very drunk, and we were at a bar that was called Bob the Fish, and we went and bought. Yeah. Do you still own that? We should do
No.
something terrible with that.
But I feel like I should just to put up like a spoof website.
Exactly.
Guinness Lime. Yeah, I remember. So I was like, yeah, that's a terrible idea. Let's get it.
Guys, don't give up on the dream. Don't give up on the
I was going
dream.
to say, that's how Darren and I, that's how we try to make success happen is by drinking too much and then making jokes. But you actually did this. You had a crazy idea, and it worked. Is what happened for you. But I don't know your story at all. We were talking about this before. So I'm also a customer. I had a subscription years and years ago. It was a gift my wife gave me. I loved. And I would love to hear your story because we were shocked to find out you were in Calgary after we had already purchased from you.
Yeah. It's kind of like I guess the origin story. The idea was just I was working in a corporate environment, but I'm a pretty creative guy, and I was like, you know what, if I could start a small business like purposely mismatched socks and do it in a way that is designed for it and maybe not so novelty, but anyway, I had this idea, and I was like, if I could do that, and then I could do another micro business and another one, if I could do 6 of these, then I could probably live off the proceeds of my imagination just by having these little tiny businesses with a niche audience. And then I started it, and I was working full time and going to Market Collective, any market I could during the weekends, and selling socks. Like the first 6 designs are pretty tragic when I look back at what they were. But people bought them and they supported what I was doing, and then slowly but surely each iteration ended up a little bit better. And the company evolved to bacon and eggs is our most popular design. It's pretty novelty still. It's not like I wanted to do like symbiotic relationships like the honey badger and whatever the bird is that follows it around to get bits of honey because it helps it find the, just like really crazy, relationships like that. But people aren't going to buy those. So you have to do the more obvious concepts. But with those, it's still challenging because you have an idea where it's like, it's a theme. Well, how do you make it so obvious that it's just like, palm trees and pineapples? Like they don't necessarily correlate exactly, but it's like, okay, that's tropical destination. Anyway, the company grew and we were in our condo, 1-bedroom condo downtown, and I had all the storage lockers I could get down in the basement, and then I had a storage locker in Inglewood, and then we moved to a crappy house, and that we converted the basement to HQ, and then a small warehouse, and now we're in a 7,000 square foot warehouse with our Christmas party had 15 employees, and we don't have that many right now because it's the slower season, but yeah, we're cooking along.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah,
incredible.
good for
And
you.
Your I guess you call it collection or inventory has grown vastly since since I think you and I first met, even, right? Which was like the bacon and eggs era, and what you call tragic.
yeah.
But like you've got a Canadian landscapes
Yeah.
collection. You've got merino wool, camp socks, like low cut, everything.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes from we manufacture in Italy, and I go there every year. And so when I go there, I see what the manufacturers are working on next. And the merino wool was just something that they were working on, where typically it's hard to get a design in a merino wool sock because of the gauge of the knit. But they were working at it in putting a polyamide knit. So polyamide is like the synthetic, it's a thinner yarn, but they were working. So when you look at the wool socks, all the little designs are polyamide. Not that it matters, it's a wool sock. But yeah, so you go to the factories and you kind of go, okay, yeah, I think we could do this, and you try it and it works. And having the collection grow too, because once you cover all the regular bases, then it really pushes you creatively, and it's like, okay, well, what concept can we come up with that's a little bit different? And like one might be a cat on a shelf, and then the cat's knocking the plant off the shelf. Like, that's hilarious because it's real life, but you wouldn't start with that design. That's just like a design after you've already done all the bacon and eggs. You're like, okay, what else can, right? So now we're kind of in a fun stage where it's really challenging. It's like we've already covered all the regular stuff. Now we got to find like really cool things to do and kind of find our stylistic voice, I guess.
How do you do that? How do you keep yourself inspired?
I think just keeping that third eye open. Like when I moonlighted as a comedian for quite a while, so I'd go to Yuck Yucks and all that kind of stuff. And the best way to describe it is when you're doing that and when that's consuming you and you have to write comedy all the time, you just kind of have this third eye that's open, that's recognizing all these things that happen in life that are amusing or funny, right? And then you're like, oh, God, I've got to write that down. And so it's kind of the same thing with the designs. Like when we're in design phase, it's kind of like, okay, we have to come up with 15 designs. We've done everything. And then you sit around and you're like, you throw a lot of ideas back and forth. And then I'm walking along. I'm like, taco, chihuahua. Oh, we could have like a taco dog. That'd be funny. Like a dog wearing a chihuahua costume. Like instead of just doing tacos, right? So.
Oh, I think we lost him.
I think he got tired of
Yeah,
talking
he's
to us and
froze.
just noped out.
He's fuck these guys in their show that has no people.
Darren's question was so bad. I'm out.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, you can't. Oh my
welcome
God!
back.
You teleported. That's
And you
what happened.
moved.
Well, I had
You
to move.
quickly painted your wall.
Yeah, apparently the basement doesn't pick up the internet as good. I'm never down there, so I had no idea.
Oh.
Sorry, Darren, I missed what you were saying there. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. I finished my Guinness, so I've forgotten it. No. I was basically just asking if that's like your typical process is to look for the kind of comedic elements that you find in life, and then see how you could apply those to a symbiotic sock design. That
I think
would
it
sell.
might be because of my past in comedy and writing comedy that could have a lot to do with it, maybe. But like, yeah, just like it's also a bit of a blue ocean strategy where like you look at the novelty sock world, and on the surface it just seems quite like novelty socks, like. But in trying to differentiate ourselves a little bit from what we're seeing out there, just in subtlety is kind of the strategy. Like, how can we be like, one thing we started doing, for instance, if we'd have a pattern on one sock, just above the ankle, we'd have that same pattern, but it would be doing something slightly different. Like just that one single icon. Not that anybody's ever going to notice it, but trying to push the boundaries with like subtlety, I guess. Yeah.
Have you ever been copied? Have you ever seen any blatant copies of your stuff?
Yeah, I have seen a few.
Do you want to call them out to the nobody who's listening?
Yeah, you're going to get them in real trouble on here.
What are you going to do about it? Like, I mean, it's incredibly hard, and to you know, as Darren for sure, you'll know it's incredibly hard to copyright like a design. You have to, and then to try to defend it is impossible. So it's just one of those things that we're always trying to stay ahead, and if we do it complicated enough, then it's already pretty hard to do purposely mismatched socks because of minimum order quantities. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what the amount of money that you'd have to, you know, put behind trying to chase somebody, get them to stop doing something. You could send a strongly worded email, and I have.
Yeah.
Do you remember which designs they copied?
Bacon and eggs was one.
Oh yeah.
I found it on like we have like a wholesale distribution website. Like it's the one that I'm talking about is not ours, but we utilize it, and then it was on there. So then I emailed the website organizers, say, hey, this is. But it's and then on Instagram I found one once. It was a company in Turkey, a sock company in Turkey, which I know we don't sell socks in Turkey, so have at her. Copied
by a Turkish sock company.
Yeah.
Like an amazing thing to have in your repertoire.
I don't know. It's crazy. Where did they even find us?
I really am interested how the hell you found a company that can make socks. Like, you obviously came up with the designs, but then that's how did you do that? Like, what's the deal? I don't even know how a sock is made.
So, like, I guess with the sock company specifically, I don't think. If I knew how hard it ended up being, once you get on the journey and you've invested a bit of money, and then like a month turns into a year and 2 years and 3 years, and you're like, okay. But had I known before, I would have been like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing this for? Because you just walk into it so blindly, and you're just like, okay, well, we'll make socks, and here's a manufacturer in China that'll make them, and so that's the route I took in the beginning, and we went through 3 different manufacturers there. One of them made like them way too big, and then I had to try to like, okay, well, let's sell these as extra large socks for at the time, and this was a long time ago. And then
those are probably the ones I bought because I'm a fucking gorilla.
Yeah. And then you probably came back to the booth to get like them again, and ended up not being those, and you're probably like, what is this guy? But the inconsistency of a new brand is like, that's just the way it is, and you might lose a few customers, but you have to keep going. But you find them on, like, I think I was at DHgate or Alibaba to begin with, and then that didn't work out a few different times, and the manufacturing in certain places, they will take steps to save you money without you asking. So you have to almost go like, no, like I want this feature because it's better quality. And they're like, well, that's going to be 5 more cents. And you're like, well, yeah, like I don't care. Just like we want a good quality product. And then so I was going to be like, okay, this is too much stress. So ended up going like, okay, I'm gonna try to do a higher priced item. So where can I go? I can go to the U.S. So I started like reaching out to the U.S., Italy. I did reach out to Turkey, and then I think there was a factory in somewhere else in Europe. Anyway, and then so I got samples sent. But the way I found those, I was on a LinkedIn group for hosiery. So there you go. Huh. Go find yourself a hosiery group on LinkedIn.
Is the LinkedIn hosiery group like? Is it riveting? It must be.
LinkedIn. Yeah, it's just like the groups were kind of like, I'm looking to make socks, and then 20,000 factory owners would be like, I can make your socks. So
that's terrific.
It really is just like throwing a dart in, because you get anything. But anyway, I got these samples back. I'm like, okay, let's do this. I like the manufacturer, so I was like, let's do a made in Italy collection and raise the price a bit. And I didn't think anybody would buy them because of the higher price, but people did, and that's the story. And then we just moved everything to made in Italy, which hasn't been bad.
I also agree with the made in Italy campaign, because I would buy made in Italy over made in China or made in Turkey even.
And it's a great place to go do business because Italy.
I was going to say, it sounds like a hard trip every year.
Yeah.
How do you peel yourself away from the family?
I don't know. It's very hard, but like I say, you gotta do what you gotta do. Business is business.
Business is business. No doubt about it. So have you done like, in terms of have you thought about like going extreme, like niche, like for sock design? So like you got this one sock's got the 6-pack of beer, next sock's got the crashed car.
Nah, yeah.
Seeing if you can see if you can do like a mad.
An 8-pack of Guinness.
You still have to appeal to like, pull it back a bit. We did a zombie pair. I was like a shotgun on one and a zombie on the other. Brilliant. Did not go over well when we put it in our subscription.
Really?
Yeah, we got the worst feedback we ever got on that one pair because people were like, "Oh, it's so insensitive." Like, it's a zombie. What are you going to
do?
Like, The Walking Dead has been on for 62 years.
I know.
Yeah.
What are you going to cuddle it? No.
Turn the feedback command off.
Yeah.
Like, people that love it will love it.
Yeah.
You have done you have like a custom thing now.
Yeah, we do. Actually, we do quite a bit of custom, and we've made socks for Etsy and Netflix and like big companies, and then we made like,
Aviation. I saw on there.
Yeah, Aviation Gin. We've done Pete the Plumber and small companies as well, right?
That's cool.
Most of that's word of mouth. We don't really do a lot of ads for that. It's just kind of like you make a good product and then give them out to a bunch of people, and those people, somebody in that crowd is like, "Hey, I want to make custom socks," and kind of just snowballs.
Do you know you've got lots of advertising on this this channel?
Yeah. So right now, the Muttering Pine special. Whoever no.
Yeah, precisely.
So so you grew that obviously just like we talked about. Like you're doing custom. You got a massive amount of inventory, but now you've expanded to not just socks. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your wife does greeting cards?
Yeah. So, and she started around the same time I did, Little May Papery, and she does stationery. She does notebooks and greeting cards and like all that kind of stuff, stickers, vinyl stickers and all that good stuff. And she's in a bunch of stores. She has a pretty good contract with Paper Source that turned into Barnes and Nobles. And then... that's littlemaypapery.com. And then we kind of went, okay, well, we're in a bunch of stores. I'm in a bunch of stores. You're in a bunch of stores. Let's combine our efforts and call it Very Serious Company. So we created a wholesale distribution hub for the stores that we're in. So we're in combined about 800 stores in Canada and the US. And they're just like small independent retailers. So then we go, okay, we've got cards. We've got socks. I created a greeting card company called Made by Potato, which is greeting cards stamped using a potato, and then we clean it up in Photoshop, and every card sold buys a meal for a child in need through Action Against Hunger. And then
wonderful.
Yeah, and then we started. We bought a candle company that we changed the name, so now it's Weekday Candles, but they do really well in a bunch of stores. And then I just bought a matchstick company, so like fancy matches in apothecary jars. We've added that. So, and the idea is that we're just going to keep adding niche, small brands that these stores are going to buy anyway, but make the ordering process pretty seamless, offer good payment terms, one relationship, one shipping bill, and then try to build a little bit of a distribution hub where we own all the brands is the idea.
And that's the key part right there is you own those brands. Like you haven't brought in the candle company, you haven't brought in the match company,
we own them. We have
purchased
the production for
So what's easier, running all this shit or working for somebody in a corporate environment?
Working for somebody. And whenever I'm asked to give my advice on how starting a small business, I say don't. Like I really truly don't. Like you have your weekends, you have your sanity, you're probably working like reasonable hours. Like, why would you ever do that to yourself? It's such a stupid thing to do. But anyway, I like aspects of it too. So, but I've grade I think a grade 11 or grade 10 education. I don't even think I finished grade 10. So the only reason I started a business is because I didn't have any other options. I had to.
Well, bravo, because
Good.
every one of those is a great idea. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Do you
Yes,
feel like you've hit
undeniably.
your 6 micro?
No, not yet. I'm gonna do. There's another really good idea I have that I'm gonna try to Kickstarter it because I've always wanted to have a successful Kickstarter campaign, and I think it'll do it. So, working on gathering the information we need. I'm not a big fan of like really in-depth business plans, but having the basic idea, who's your audience, just kind of the basic Coles notes of what you're doing, and then we'll get that started. I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So Darren told us that you also have bought a house in the country recently.
Yeah,
Is that-
we got. Well, I didn't buy it myself. I opened up a holdco, and the holdco bought it. But the same difference, I guess. But it's like 10 acres, little farmhouse near Water Valley, and
Oh,
the idea
wonderful.
was to turn it into an Airbnb, and then when we want to use it, just book out that time. But it's been a year. We haven't booked it. We haven't actually, because me and my dad rebuilt the deck. And I'm always out there like frigging with things, and it's not quite ready yet, but it's almost ready. And yeah, like I think in the next couple months it'll be up on Airbnb, and then trying to think of like fun things to do because I don't want to just have like a house in the country for people to go to. So it's kind of like let's get a telescope. Let's like put a ping pong table downstairs. Like should we get a sauna like for people? I don't know. We're trying to figure out what to do with it. But
Telescope's a good buy.
yeah,
Yeah,
Burning hot
saunas.
tub.
Yeah.
wood burning hot tub's not a bad idea.
I've looked at
There's
those. Yeah, I've
Have you
looked at
seen
those.
like the trough ones
Yeah,
with the Adirondack chairs in them?
yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it.
What?
A,
No, I
a
haven't
his
seen
and
that.
hers, or
Yeah.
a big one with like 2 chairs in it.
Totally. Yeah, I did look at those. They're really neat. Yeah, but in the wintertime you have to drain the pipes and stuff, and then you're thinking about are guests going to do that or no? Because people are, they're not going to take care of stuff the way.
They're not even going to lock the door. Like, forget draining pipes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So is it on grid or off grid then, or a little bit of
It's
both?
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
furnace, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. We got and then we got Explorer Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi is pretty shit, but it's good enough to.
Jesus, poor ExploreNet. You're the second guest in a row that's come on and like, yeah, we got that garbage ExploreNet on there. It's just fucking pushing money to Elon Musk on this show, if anybody watched it. There
No
you go,
kidding.
Starlink.
It's as bad as my basement, probably. The Wi-Fi.
It's basement internet. Yeah. Yeah, too.
So was it just the idea to do the Airbnb then that put you out in the country, or you're like kind of like, we need to get out of the city, we need to do a little bit of country time? And
Well, yeah, my parents live out there. I grew up in the country. Like I grew up in really small town Ontario. I think our town had like 100 people in it. I went back a couple summers ago and I was like, wow, this is really backwoods. Like, holy, I can't believe I survived my childhood. And then and then we moved out to Cremona, Water Valley area, and
Yep.
my formative years there before moving all kinds of different places. But they're still out there. My dad had an antique shop on Main Street in Cremona, and he opens it sometimes now, but it's mostly shut down. Yeah, but I I grew up hunting and fishing, and so I like to go out and just walk around in the trees or do something, right?
are you do you have access to good? Like, you got 10 acres there. Is it near Crown Land? Like, do you go out there and do some hunting and then?
There's hunting places and because my folks are out there, I think it's 314. We have permission to hunt in a few places if we wanted to. Like, it's just a few people, and then they're like, okay, yeah, just drive out past my farm to the tree line and hang out there if you want. But I haven't been hunting for a few years, but I'd like to, because I always used to go with my dad, but he doesn't really go anymore, so need to figure. I was talking to Jamie from Calgary Heritage Roasting. He goes hunting quite often, and so he said that we could go out one, sometime. Jamie, if you're watching this, hunting.
Yeah.
He's not, but
He's definitely not. But
we'll send it to him directly.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody mentioned you on the show. He said you might also want to be a guest.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to tell him.
I'm sure you would.
That's cool. So do you guys, are you looking at getting any machines for out there or anything? Or like you gonna run a garden or?
Yeah, I think about like, I grew potatoes there because I wanted for the greeting card company. I wanted to have like a special collection or on the back of the card. So we grew these potatoes that stamp these cards.
Yeah.
That feed these kids, like just another level. So I successfully grew a whole bunch of potatoes, which was awesome. And I'd like to do that again. And then my dad has an old carport, like the skeleton of a carport. So I'd like to get that set up and put a garden in there or something because, the deer will just get in there otherwise. And then been looking for a quad. Got to get a quad and want to just drive the quad around, pull trees out. Like there's this big embankment that goes down, and then there's really cool stream that goes through. And
nice.
It runs all summer, and it's in the property, but it's kind of hard to get down to. So I want to pull the trees out, chainsaw them, use them for firewood, and then build some stairs down there, some steep stairs with probably a rope that you can hold on to. I don't know.
We have an episode about choosing a quad.
Oh yeah.
And the recommendation. So you're not going to listen to it, and you shouldn't.
Can I? Because I think it's Honda and Can-Am. I think are the two best.
Yeah. Oh well. So interesting. No. Honda's definitely the best. You're right about that. Honda's definitely top of the line. We talk a lot about Polaris on the show because these two guys own a pair of Polarises, but I think we decided Can-Am was junk for some reason. Why did we decide Can-Am was junk? Does anybody remember?
You don't know anything about it.
Because we don't know anything about it. That's right. It's probably.
I was talking to one of the guys that's doing work at our place, short story long. We have a gas pipeline that goes to our place, and so they're doing some maintenance on it. So I was out there talking to one of the guys, and I pulled up in my quad, and I had my youngest with me, and they had bermed the road a little bit with the snow, right, to get their machines in. And normally I would have plowed through at full speed and just made it over, but I'm holding him. He's 2, so I didn't want to do it. So I kind of just Nancy'd it a little bit, and just high centered, just tipping in front of all these rig guys. And I was like, fucking hell, this is the most. So this old guy comes over and helps push it out, and I'm fucking embarrassing. And the one guy comes over and we're chatting, and he's he looks at my tires. He's like, I had a quad with those exact same tires. He's like, those things sucked. Yeah, he's like, you can't drive them in the winter. You're basically going sideways. I'm like, correct. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. But he said he only runs Can-Am machines, and he thinks they're pretty much the best you can get. So really, it's I don't know. It's like asking a guy, who has a Ford, what's the best truck, and then going and finding asking Matt what's the best truck.
Yeah, and then all of them are good. That's the truth of stuff today. All of them
except Chevys.
Yeah. So you know what? I absolutely. We had a fully loaded Sierra a few years ago for 3 days that GM gave us, and it just rolled into our alley in the middle of the night from Park, just into the alley and just blocked traffic overnight for no reason.
When our discussions about Can-Am and how shit they were was based on hearsay and rhetoric of how they always break down. Their quality is poor. But again, we don't actually know anything, so I'm sure they're on the road for a reason.
Yeah. I missed out on an excellent quad because I've been keeping my eyes peeled, and I thought it was such a good deal. It was 500 kilometers on it, but it was a 98 or something. But it was just some old people had it in their garage and never. But it was 500 kilometers. It looked brand new. It had a plow on it, a winch, and it was $5,000. I was like, man,
yeah.
I didn't act on it, but that was I can't find a quad with 500 kilometers on it
especially with a plow on it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good deal.
500 is unheard of.
I know.
Yeah.
It was gone immediately, and I missed it. But very sad about that.
I think you would have been beating people at the door trying to throw money at those people. So,
yeah, that's probably true.
Well, nowadays you can't find a mild out quad for less than 6.
I know.
And a good quad is what, 8 or something for a used one?
You could get a tractor though, Adam.
Now we're
that has
talking.
I bought a riding lawnmower, and somebody said, "No, you're making a mistake. You should get like a utility tractor or something they call it. You can do
compact utility tractor."
Yeah, but I didn't. I got the anyway. But
It's never too late to sell that riding tractor.
Yeah,
Buy a Kubota. Call it a day.
yeah.
There is a company out of Kelowna that turns riding ride-on mowers into off-roading vehicles.
No way.
My God.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Okay, off-roaders, I think they're called.
They just juice it with horsepower and like
Big
fix
tires,
up
different suspension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take the mower deck
sweet.
off, and those guys are they're doing some crazy shit when they're like, I don't know how they're not rolling the things in the videos I've seen. I swear they have like guy line cables holding them up.
I
I've seen a
love
couple
that there is a
bloopers.
market big enough for riding tractor off-road. Like that these guys can just do that and nothing else. I think that's
there's
the
a
best.
market for purposely mismatched socks, Scott. You know?
You're always surprised. You never think about it until it actually happens. So
It's like if you think of an idea and you're like, who else would really love a souped-up riding lawnmower? Probably nobody, but I really want one. Probably lots of people.
Yeah.
every hillbilly out there.
Yeah.
So just
Some
to bring it
city
back to
rednecks.
your little empire, what's your process for coming up with an idea then? Is it just that? It's like, I want this. I think it's cool. I'm sure people will like it. Let's go for it.
Well, I think I just naturally have a lot of ideas, so ideas have never been a problem. It's more just the doing. Like I get 12 ideas a day, and to have a good idea, I have to have a lot of them. So the odd one's pretty good, and most of them are garbage. But I think like that, just always having ideas and being interested in stuff. But when we purposely sit down and think about something, it's like you get to a point where you're really thinking about it. Like, how can we, like, what is the next thing? And then you kind of just stop and go about your life and eat some cereal, and then bing, it's like, okay, that's what that is. You know what I mean? Like, or you're having a shower. Usually good ideas come in the morning when you're having a shower, or, doing your number 2 or something, right? Like, just pop into your head.
Got a doodle board inside the shower in the
We don't
bathroom
shower.
stall.
Oh yeah. Well, if you don't shower, you're not going to get good ideas.
Which is why you're on our show right now with no listeners.
You didn't shower the day you said yes.
There's never been one shower thought at Muttering Pines, not one ever.
But you guys know what I'm talking about, where you're like just like going about your daily life and you're doing the most, like driving or something, just giving your brain a break, and then you're like, okay, that's where they come from.
Mine is pathway. The pathway, when I'm walking on the pathway, that's usually when it happens. So I spend a lot of time out there for that reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Mine is usually somewhere I can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
I can't write it down. I'm driving or something, and I'm like, okay, got to remember that, and then gone.
No,
I'll
it's
get someone
gone.
like, God.
Yeah.
This,
And then you got to hit the bottle, right? You get home and you're like, I got to think of that idea. You can't think of it, and then you get real sad, and then you get into the bottle, and everything's terrible after that, right?
Yeah, and crying into your own hands.
The lights are off. Just sobbing.
How much you boys drinking?
Not enough. So this is our second, I guess, episode this season.
Yeah.
Or however you want to call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's our 17th, second this season. We started something new with our guests, and it went okay on our last one, so we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
It's just a little thing that we call Guest to Know You.
Okay.
This is one of those shower ideas that probably didn't work out.
We'll see.
Still
We've got
made it
some
to the front.
questions, a little bit of trivia, a little couple questions for you. So the first thing, if you could be a cocktail, what kind of cocktail would you be and why?
I'd be going to be like just be a dirty vodka martini, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's simple and plain and, easy, but also a bit salty. But, I don't know, because you got the extra dirty juice in there. Yeah, vodka martini, extra dirty for sure.
Extra dirty.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, next. other than the ones that you are involved in and have created, in your sort of field or industry, name one brand that you think is just killing it and why.
But and I can't use me, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you could, and we could just leave it there.
No, I have a lot of friends that own businesses. I'll probably go with Mitch from Revita Tea is doing really cool things right now. He's built he came up with a natural tea kind of in a pouch drink, and it's innovative that it's in a pouch, for environmental reasons, but also he's getting he got a lot of exposure through hard work and determination, and now he's built like this manufacturing facility, which is no small feat. And
holy shit,
yeah, he's doing good. And then of course Ted from Partake, he's doing really good things. Like a lot of people in the CPG space that I know, I don't know Midday Squares, but they're doing really you don't have to look too far to find somebody in consumer packaged goods that's killing it.
Fair enough. Awesome. Yep. What's your knowledge of Alberta's regions and counties and stuff like that? Is it pretty good or?
Pretty good.
All right. This one is called Live, Vacation or Visit, and then just stay the fuck away from. So which county in Alberta would you live in? Which would you visit? And which would you just say nope?
I'd live in wherever county Canmore is in. Vacation in probably wherever there's live, vacation, and
stay the fuck away from.
Okay, so wherever Vulcan is, I'd stay away from there. Whatever county that is.
Vulcan.
It's Vulcan County.
And then vacation. I can't. If I'm living there, I can't vacation there. So I'll vacation in Canmore, and I'll live in. I think I'm living in a good county wherever Calgary is. Calgary County. I think it's a good place to live.
Rocky View? Is it Rocky View,
Matt? Calgary's Calgary, isn't it?
Calgary's Rocky View.
Is Calgary Rocky View?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought Rocky View was north and
then Foothills is south.
Foothills is south, but Calgary's Calgary.
Oh,
yeah. Calgary's
area. In two counties? I see.
There you go.
I'm going to pick Calgary anyway to live, and then Canmore to vacation.
So nope out of Vulcan.
No Vulcan. And I it's not that I've never been there. We had a small cottagey place in Milo for a while. And Milo's at the north end of McGregor Lake. But that was fine. But Vulcan was, that whole area is a little bit, I don't know.
That's where my dad's from, the Vulcan and Milo area.
Milo's pretty cool. I like Milo.
There's not much there.
Just birds. Lots of birds.
Lots of birds. Lots of birds and lots of mule deer.
Yeah.
I can't figure out which county Canmore is in. Oh, Bighorn. Municipal District of Bighorn. There we go.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Bighorn County.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then next, we just got a little bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
Some Alberta trivia and then some industry stuff.
Okay.
Alberta, what's a boot? As in, I'm looking for a boot.
Oh, looking for a boot. I don't know, a boost? No. Looking for a boot. No, I don't know. I don't know what that one is. I'm gonna know what this is. I grew up in a small town.
It's when you're underage.
Yeah.
And you need someone to go in.
That's right. Okay.
Grab you a little something from the liquor store.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
This one's pretty easy. When someone says the hat, what are they referring to?
Medicine hat.
Yeah, right on. And then what does chuchin mean?
Chuchin.
And use it in a sentence.
Use chuchin.
I was chuchin with the boys at Muttering Pines.
There you go.
All right, that's a win.
You know, so
I'll take it.
I like because I looked at the shirts and I was like, Chuchin, I like that shirt.
There you go.
Yeah, Chuchin's good stuff.
A little bit of industry stuff. What does DTM mean
DT.
in the garment industry?
Oh, direct to. There's DTG, which is direct to garment. DTM would be direct to. Well, maybe it's direct to manufacturing. Direct to. I don't know.
Direct to market.
Dye to match.
What? Dye to match.
Yes.
We don't dye.
I guess no, you wouldn't. You're all woven in, aren't you?
Yeah, we use like in stock yarns. There's a huge bunch of it, but yeah. Okay, dye to match. I should know that.
Joke's on me for not knowing my shit. What's paraffin and what's it used for?
Paraffin's a wax, but it's not very good because it burns dirty and fills the air with soot and bad chemical juju.
Do you know what it's typically or was typically used for?
Would it be? I remember, like in my childhood, my grandma had like blocks of it. I don't know what she would do with it for lighting the way, lamps or something, maybe. Yeah.
It's used in one of the. It is and still is and was one of the main ingredients in match heads.
Ah, ooh, interesting.
Probably not the fancy boutique match heads you guys have.
No, we use flowers and candy on ours.
Flowers and candy.
So no paraffin.
So you started with socks.
Yeah.
You did socks, and then you moved into potato.
Yeah. Socks, and my wife had Little May Paper green card stationery.
Yeah.
Then we bought the candle company. Then we moved. Then I did a potato thing, and now the matches were.
And now matches.
Yeah.
So you got socks, candles, matches, and now you're basically about to Airbnb and do some homesteading.
Yep.
You just migrating.
Just trying to do too many things probably, but you know, you hang out with people and they're doing something, and you're like, I want to do that too, and then you do it, right? And then you're like, why did I do that? But the whole journey is learning. Like for me, it's like it's not the Airbnb isn't to make money. I mean, the property value will probably increase over time. That's great, but it's really more about like I got to build a deck with my dad. Like I'm working on fixing it up myself, and then learning how to Airbnb it, and maybe I'll like it and want to do it again, or maybe I'll hate it, but that's a new skill I have, and then whatever. We can use the place when we can get away, and that's a benefit too. But it's not to build. It's not money. It's more just like to do something interesting.
So based on the number of companies you're doing, you'll never get away.
No, well, I'm trying to. Which that's every dilemma. That's every entrepreneur or small business owner's dilemma is working in the business, not on the business. You end up making yourself a job. So you create yourself a job, and it's the worst job you've ever had.
And you have to scale, right? You have to bring other people on. They have to learn how to do it. And onboarding's fucking expensive unless you do that. Yeah.
And the whole idea is the economies of scale with the different businesses. Like what we learned how to do in Friday, we can duplicate that. We know how to ship goods. So now we can, like, we're not just starting small businesses without having all the infrastructure there. Like it's all there. We already have computers. We already have like the knowledge of how to list products, blah, 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 blah. So it's a lot easier.
But so you're always thinking about the next thing you're going to do. Have you thought about the last thing you're going to do?
Just dive exhaustion, probably.
Hey, you're the most like us guest we've had yet. Wishing to die.
Yeah, I'll just fade away in a rocking chair after I've just sat down for a couple seconds. Thinking of dying though is great because you're always like, man, like this is going to end, so I better like make the most out of this. So that's for a different day, but it's a blessing.
Hard deadline, yeah.
I got this tattooed. I got it tattooed on my arm the other day. It's called Memento Mori. Remember you die. I got it there. Got it there. So whenever I look down, if I'm doing something stupid, I'm like, remember you die. I'm like, okay, I better get to work. So
better get to work. Whenever you're going to click the next like binge episode, it's just like, oh yeah. No, click. I guess I'll do something to work.
Yeah, I better do something. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I really appreciate you coming on.
No, thanks for doing it.
This was great.
It's a lot of
Getting
fun.
here, all your insider info on not starting a small business because it's too much work.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's twice now. Two successful guys with small businesses both said don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
There's no sense in it. Do it if you want. But hey, I'll say this though. When I was doing comedy to make it a full circle here, we had a really successful comedian came through. And the reason partly why I say that is because that's what he said. It's like, you guys want me to give you the best advice I can give you about being a comedian? He said, okay, you ready? This is the best advice you'll ever hear. And he's like, don't do it. It's the worst existence on planet Earth. And the reason he said that was because if I said that and it discouraged you, then maybe you're not cut out for it. But if you kind of like said, nah, screw you, I'll do it anyway, then that's what you need to keep going. It's kind of like that. Like, I'll tell you not to do it, but it's only because like it's the worst thing in the world. But
it's like weeder courses at university.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what university is, but yeah.
Neither. None of us do.
Sure.
I heard that those are terrible for stupid kids, though. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. No, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
nice
Adam.
meeting you.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Bye,
All right.
Guys.
Okay. Have
Thanks,
a good
buddy.
one.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
Bye.
So don't do it.
Don't try things.
Do it,
Because
though. That's what I heard. Just do it.
it's pretty unlikely you're going to be successful, so don't bother. Yeah.
You're going to die eventually, so just give up now.
That's what his tattoo really means. Just hurry up and die.
Just give up on life now.
Yeah. It's way easier if you just give in.
I do like that he has the tattoo that's like, remember that you die on there. And he seems to have no idea that he's choosing to look at that and say, I better hurry up. Whereas the three of us would look at that and go, I hope so.
Not soon enough.
God, sweet release of death. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't believe he had time to do a podcast with the amount of shit he has on his plate. No.
I can't believe he did ours.
Yeah, that's true.
His new socks, though, look fucking sweet. Probably going to have to buy a bunch.
Yeah, he's too hard on his old designs. I thought they were great. I mean, obviously they were great. Like, those were the ones that I was getting back then. So.
Yeah. I'm going to go buy the merino wool ones with all the animals on them, I think.
Yeah, if he has wool socks, that's terrific news.
He does. Yeah.
That's what perked me up because I really want to get some nice wool socks.
Thanks for listening. And as usual, Matt,
Keep on chooching.
keep on chooching. Hey, nobody. Don't forget to check out mutteringpines.com for our line of apparel and follow us on social and anywhere you listen to or watch your favorite podcasts. And remember, keep on chooching.